Hello guys, what is up? It's the X-Whatever here. Today we're doing part 2 of Deku was the Locust King. Part 2, because tell me in the comment section, because guys, I'm just holding my phone up. If you want to know, then okay, but if you want it down like this, then okay. But I might stick with this for now, but it's up to you guys, but I'm going to try to stick with this for now. If I fuck up, then I'm sorry. If Deku was the Locust King, so I'll start the story. After Deku decided to somewhat try to win this girl's affection, he found out that not many people remember the Locust invasions. This was peculiar to Deku, because he thought everyone should have remembered, or should have history books, but they must have all been forgotten for a very, very long time. The pages of time must have turned them to dust. No one will probably know about the Gears then, and know about the Locust then, and his army. But Deku decided not to wage war on humankind for this one time. He wished to see if humanity will accept his people, or his hive, into the city. So, as Deku returned to his throne after the encounter with Juno 2 weeks ago, he's just been sitting on his throne wondering, what should he do for his move? How should he win her affection? Deku's on his throne, tapping his chair, just thinking like, I don't know. I miss my previous queen. Her and I met in this strange place. When me and her first met as children, we both wanted to get out of here, but it didn't turn out well for me. Now, I lead an army that's really in dire need of support, of a healer and hope for my people down here. My locusts are evolving. I am happy with this, but I feel so lonely that I that I will probably never find someone special to me. What am I saying? I already did. But it probably won't be the same if I like the girl or Juno. However, someone walks into Deku's chamber, to Deku's throne, and kneels down and says, "My king, we have news for you." Deku stops wondering this. He just focuses on what's happening. Deku gets up and doesn't get up. He just sits on his throne and looks at the locust and says, "You may speak, my locust. What news do you have?" The locust said, "My king, we received that the girl you wish to us to watch. She is indeed, in fact, of royal blood, but what?" Deku's saying. "She's going to a hero school." And Deku says, "And what's the problem with that? Can't you follow her to the school?" The Carmine said, "Yes, but..." No, the locust said, "Yes, but we can't get into a school." And Deku said, "Explain to me in detail." The locust tried to put it up as best he can. The locust said, "Well, the walls are really fortified, and they have surveillance cameras all over the place, and it's really high and tight for security." Oh, I see. Deku put his hand on his head, and just thinks. It's like, what should I do? I should either that. I have to break in and come get her. But that would also be risky for me, and then people will try to suspect me for some type of villain, which people are calling me. But I am a king, so I don't want to be found out, or the war to have another war. Deku gets up from his chair and says, "Very well, I will join this school." And the locust said, "My king, but you'll be exposing yourself." Deku says, "I know, but people won't wonder because I look more human than my than you guys, and I probably have a good chance of getting into that school." Locust said, "Yes, sir, and also my fellow Carbine." Carmine said, "Yes, I want you to go to a database server. Plus, since Deku is the king, he's also linked to Locust, but he's much more stronger. The moment they learn something, they almost learn instantly. But with the queen, they have to be slow learners. Not slow, it just takes them a few days. The king's different from the queen, so yeah." As Deku looks around, he says, oh, my fellow Carbines, or Boomers." Boom. A boomer busts, pushes the door, and two boomer guys walk into the room. The Carmine said, "Sir, why are you bringing out the big boys? I mean, the boomers. Aren't they your, aren't they really tough? Or aren't they gonna cause a lot of ruckus if you send them out to the world?" Deku looked at the Carmine and said, "No, you fool. I'm not gonna send them out. I'm not an idiot. I just want them to survey, in case something happens. You see, I'm sending these boomers to a place where I think leftover some tech is from the Great War between humans and the Locust. Besides, we didn't want to start this war. We started it because our home was being invaded by an infection long ago. And Carmine, everyone in the hive was at risk. So, if we have not gone to the surface, we have never found out about humans. But at the same time, they shot at us first. The first Carmine that went up was shot instantly. That's why we had armor and weapons. The gears assumed that we were going to attack them, so one of the gears shot back at us. And you should know the rest since we're linked to the hive, since you're linked to me. However, I can unlink myself to you guys and make you not see what I want to see. Is that understood, my Carmine and Boomers?" "Boom," says the two Boomers. And the Carmine leaning on the ground says, "Yes, my king." "Good. Now, I need Carmine. Carmine looks up Deku and says, "Yes, my king. I need you to go find me some clothes from the human world." And Carmine says, "But sir, can't you do that yourself?" Deku just pauses and says, "Oh, right. Sorry, just that I was too deep in thought about me blending in with the humans again. I had to blend it with the humans so I could kill the humans to drop on the gears, you know? But anyway, enough about that. 5 hours later. And guys, if you tell me if you don't want to enjoy this series, then okay. As Deku finds some clothes, and also the Carmine that was looking for some, like, an old gear base, found one, but it was really crumbling beneath him. Of course, Deku sent the two boomers with Carmine. And Deku's looking through their eyes and he's saying, like, huh, I see. So, they didn't actually get to launch that rocket. Deku looks at the rocket and says, Hammer of Dawn. Oh, those were fucking annoying. Deku tries not to think about the war, because I think it will trigger something in the Locust thinking that they would still be in the war. But Deku's trying not to think about it, because it just gets him triggers and gets emotional sometimes, so, yeah. As Deku puts on the UA uniform, he manages to slip by. Well, he does take an online course for the exams, but he wants to prove it by going into the tests. Of course, he didn't make a fake profile of him being in high school, like in junior high. So yeah. As Deku arrives at the UA training ground, and President Mike's doing his speech and everything. He just sits there, just smiling, closing his eyes, and he hears this annoying creature. And he looks right next to him and just says, Shut up! And she is Bakugo and Ida arguing. And Deku just slowly picks something up from his pocket and just flicks it at Bakugo. And now Bakugo is completely knocked out. It was a pebble. His strength is, yeah, I pretty much covered it on my other series, so it's insanely ridiculous, to be honest, so, yeah. As Deku wait, how long have I been talking, actually? I just want to see, guys, just give me a minute. Damn, I've been talking that long. Yes, even battery time, okay. As Deku just slowly gets up and Princess Mike's done with his stupid talk, Deku yawns and just turns around, and all the girls are saying, Who the fuck is that? He is handsome. Because, Deku's a fucking total hottie. If you guys are wondering if I sound tired, it's currently 11, so I'm pretty tired right now because I'm gonna go to sleep after this video. So after Deku turned around and goes down the stairs to the training ground or the exam site, he actually encounters Bakugo, and Bakugo gives Deku a death stare. Deku just smiles as Bakugo's walking past him, and Deku's just thinking oh. He should have never given that glare. Now, if we're in combat, I'm gonna break his arm. And I'm gonna enjoy it. Deku's just thinking of it, but he just shrugs it off. He needs to stay focused. As Deku goes downstairs, and he's already at the exam site now. He looks for a bench to sit on, because he has about 18 minutes left before the tests begin. So he's just sitting there. He senses like a bunch of girls staring at him. So he just takes off his shirt and just folds it and just puts his hands behind his back and puts his leg on his, just on his leg. So, and Deku just sits there on the bench, just lying back and closing his eyes. All the girls already have nosebleeds at this point. All of them kind of fainting at this point. And Deku just said, "Oh, that's enough napping. Time to get to work." It's like he puts back on his shirt and goes to the door that's about to open. Deku sees this person, Oraka. She's really nervous. Deku decides to say, this should be interesting. So Deku goes right up behind Oraka and just says, "Are you having trouble? Are you nervous about the exam?" I meant to say, excuse me, are you nervous about something? I meant to say guy, so I'm sorry. As Oraka turns around, she sees an absolute hottie, and he's fucking on fire. She's says, "Oh, no, I'm fine. Deku just says, you're pretty nervous about the test, aren't you?" She just stops and just says, "Yes, I really hope I pass with a good score." And Deku says, "Don't worry, you will." And since Deku's been blending with this human society, he's somehow, he made a little, he made, okay. He just thought he made something in his spare time as he was blending in. He was making sure he's training his eyes to make sure his eyes understood what their quirk was. And Deku has the ability to train his body like no one else can. So if Deku wants something to know how his opponent does that, all he has to do is do that training the same they did. But for Deku, it's a lot harder. But the first day, it got hard when it's harder. Second day, a bit easier. Third, he's master it. So it takes him 3 days just to master it. And his quirk and his eyes is an analysis thing, so he can analyze your quirk, know its breaking points and its limits. So yeah, as Auroch is trying to pull herself together, trying not to get a nosebleed over Deku, Ida just runs up to him and says, "Young man, excuse me, sir, are you bothering this person?" And Deku looks at Ida and just flicks him onto a wall and just says, I hate people like that. Think they're all high and mighty." Ida gets up from the wall. "Why, you little..." However, President Mike just came onto the mic and says, "Okay, everyone. Your exam starts in 3, 2..." Everyone's waiting for the 1. "There is no really countdown for a battle. Go!" Everyone's rushing to get points, and Deku's just sitting there, just standing there at the door. It's wide open, and everyone on the camera is looking at old teachers from class. Old teachers from UA looking at Deku, wondering, what's this guy doing? He's just standing there. Does he not want to participate, or is he just a coward? As they're saying this, Deku just instantly vanishes, like that. He was so fast that they couldn't even see him. He was like that was an after image of Deku. So Deku was gone before that. He was absolutely gone. And the teachers looked at the monitor. Dad, can you help me find my phone? Please. Excuse me, guys. My mom's asking me to find her phone. So guys, just excuse me. I'm gonna mute my mic so you don't hear anything in the background. I'm so sorry. And Decky's racking up points each time. Sorry guys, I have to look. Right now I'm looking for my mom's phone, but I will continue the story right as we're doing this. Since Deku's, insanely strong, he's already destroyed about like 50 robots already. The points he has currently is, let's just see, 2,500 right now. And Deku just decides after killing one more robot, he has 2,550 points now. And he just says, that was not even a challenge. It's humans and their stupid technology. Or the robots. It's just boring. As Deku decides to get up and just leave the area, thinking that he has enough points. He hears someone screaming, and as he was walking away to the door, he sees a young girl trapped in the rubble, and of course it's Oraka. And Deku's like, do we have to save this person again? Not save her again, just save her. Deku just says, but it would get a lot more points, because I do hear about rescue points, so, yeah. Excuse me guys, I'm just gonna mute my mic again. Okay, guys, as I was saying, if you guys don't like me doing that voice, I will change it to like this high pitched voice. But okay, as Deku. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm making sure I'm recording because I don't want my recording to be lost. But anyway, as Deku just says laughing, it just says like thought. So he's like gone instantly. Oraka couldn't even see him. He was so fast. He picked her up. Like, he broke the sound barrier. No one saw him because that's how fast he is. And of course, the gears had weapons and armor that actually, predicted where he would be and how fast and where he would, attack from. So that's why the gears always wore those armors, because the armor was actually durable. So then the king couldn't scratch them, but yeah. However, the Locust can just shred that armor, and also Deku can. But the armor was getting more advanced by the time. So yeah. Anyway, Deku saves Oraka and just puts her on the ground, and Deku just crouches down, just says, "I had to save you. I saved you." And Oraka's like, "What? How'd you do that? You're so fast. I didn't even see you." Deku's like, "There's a lot you should learn. There's a lot you don't know about me, Oraka." And Deku and Oraka said, "How do you know my name?" Deku's pauses, "You told me your name." Oraka's like, "Oh, yeah."
And Deku's like, "Are you alright?" She's like on the ground, just doing that emote of like depression's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that you can't believe I forgot something like that." And a 0 point comes out of the ground and punches, makes a fist and goes straight towards Deku with a fist. But Deku just flicks it. The arm comes completely off, like it's been sliced through. Uraraka's like jaw absolutely drops, and the UA teacher's like saying, "What the kind of quirk is this?" And All Might's getting fucking suspicious as fuck. He's like saying, "All for one?" And Deku's like, that was not even a challenge. Just took one flick. This shall be entertaining. The robot just uses his other hand. But it's too late. Deku sliced the robot's torso and the head off with incredible speed, and he didn't even need to move because Deku already moved his hand so fast the cameras could not even see it. As the robot fell to the ground, a bunch of dust came up, and Deku just looks to Horaka and just says, "You should really train your quirk more, Horaka." And Horaka's like, "How are you this strong?" Deku says, "That's my secret. Sorry, but I can't tell you my quirk." Deku just smiles and just walks away. Now, ETA, that was that was 3 weeks ago. And yes, 3 weeks ago, the teachers were having trouble if they should accept them or not. So they had to tell the UA, the students that were partaking the test had to wait for 3 weeks because Deku's absolutely broke the teachers of class of the UA. He literally broke them of their processing power. Nezu's processing power is already recovered from like 2 weeks. The teachers needed another 3 weeks of I don't know trying to understand how the hell is he that fast. And All Might's just saying all for one. He must have given that kid some insane quirks. But that doesn't explain why his eyes are red. And of course, yes, guys, his eyes are red. Because I like them red, and no, this is not a villain. Oh, it's kind of in between between a villain and an anti-villain, and a Valkyrie and a hero. So, yeah. Anyway, guys. Oh my goodness, how? Yeah, I'm making sure how long my video is. After that, Deku was accepted in class into UA Academy, but he had it said, however, you are to be under strict supervision by All Might and Eraser. And Deku's like, eh, I'll beat them. I'll beat the fuck up. I'll beat them the fuck up if they try to mess with me. Because Deku didn't know who they were. They were the fucking teachers, for crying out loud. Deku said in his mind to say he would beat the fucking shit out of them. Well, Deku got his mail from one of his Carmine, and it gave him the letter. So Deku's like, however, after because in those 3 weeks, Deku's army did expand, but Deku decided to make a little, you know, like a home for the locust underground, again. But Deku made sure there was no infection, so the infection died a very long time ago. So Deku was happy, and when Deku was going to class 1A, Deku looked at the school and just said, "What do you know? My 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 information was right." This place is really fortified. As Deku's walking in, looking around, Deku sees that there's a lot of cameras, a lot of walls. And Deku's like, "This will be trick. This will be impossible to get my army in, to get one of my spies in, and undetected." So that's out of the table. As Deku goes up the stairs into the classroom, he sees someone under the someone like walking. So he closes the door and just goes to his desk and just puts his feet on his desk and just sits there and closes his eyes, sleeping. Deku and the person who walked in was Bakugo. Bakugo just stared at Deku and just with that intense passion to beat the shit out of him. Bakugo goes for a punch, but Deku just catches it without even acknowledging him. And Deku just says, "What are you doing, Bakugo?" Deku looks up, turns his head to Bakugo and opens one eye and just says, "What are you... Well, I'm gonna kick your ass for making me look like an idiot." Deku just smiles says, "You're not even on my level, kid. Do some training, and then we'll talk about fighting." Bakugo gets even more angry. He's like, "What'd you say to me?" And Deku just says, "Do you want to get flicked again?" Bakugo just shuts up and just says, stupid, fucking green-haired, fucking just." Baku's saying all that shit in his desk, fucking just saying that shit, and Deku's smiling with ease, and he's just laughing on the inside, saying, "Foolish, foolish human, you're no match for a king, for my standards. Even if you manage to blow off one of my arms, it will grow back twice at 5 times more stronger than ever. And if I become too much damaged, I learn and my body adapts to that." Oh, this is gonna be fun. Deck just saying all that shit all in his head. All that shit's in his head. And of course, all the rest of the class when he arrives, of course, that's when Juno sees Deku. And Juno's like, "Oh hey, Saku." And all Kasune looks at Juno and just in shock, "Is that his real name?" And Deku's like, "Oh, hey Juno." And all of them are they're so confused. They're what? And Juno and Deku begin talking, just saying how's their day going, and all of them are saying how the hell does she know? The guy's like, how does she know who that guy is, and his name? Deku's fake name for Izuku. He doesn't really like using it, so Juno came up with the name called Izuku, so he decided to roll with it. However, she's the only one allowed to call him that. No one else. If someone calls him Izuku, he will beat the fucking shit out of you until you don't fucking breathe anymore. I'm being legit serious. As as someone came into the class, and it was Oraka. And Oraka looks at Deku's just turns to Deku turns to Oraka, looking at her. It's and Oraka's she almost has a nosebleed, but she's making sure she doesn't get one. And Deku's huh, well, I guess that's it. And Ida's was already lecturing him about his feet being on his desk. However, Deku kicks Ida in the fucking balls. Okay, imagine you know how in more Mortal Kombat
Imagine your balls getting fucking like destroyed. Oh my god! Of course, Ida doesn't get that, but he just they will be hurting for the next 2 weeks, and he, if he touches them, he will be worse. Oh my god! Yes, that's how overpowered I'm making Deku. Anyway, guys, as the class begins to start, Aizawa walks into Aizawa walks into class. Just says, "All right, everyone, shut up. Today we're doing physical exam tests." And he says, "But sir, aren't we doing any like a test?" And or Aizawa looks at the class with that grin. Just says, "No, we're doing an exercise, and if you fail, all of you, one of you will be kicked out of class 1A." And everyone instantly just bolts. However, Deku's still sitting at his desk, and Aizawa looks at him and just says, "However, you won't be you Izuku will stay here." And Izuku's like says, "Yeah." Wait, and Deku's like stops and says, just sighs and says, "Aizawa, you do realize that the only person who's allowed to call me that is Yuno, right?" Aizawa like looks at Deku, and Deku's like giving him that death glare, and Aizawa says, "Oh fuck, what did I do?" He's like sweating right now. However, Deku just says, "However, since you're the teacher, I'm allowing it. And since, yeah, I like you. Not as a lover, just as a friend." Irisawa says, "Okay, I did not need to know that information, but okay." And Deku gets up and just says, and talks to Aizawa, just says, as they were both walking to the hall, and Aizawa going to the training exercise. Aizawa says to Deku, like, "Hmm, Izuku, how many quirks do you have?" And Deku just says, "Well, I don't want to reveal my quirks yet." My quirk. I meant to say my quirk, not quirks. I'm sorry, guys. And Deku just is silent for a few minutes and just says, "Well, I can't tell you that because that's personal information, Aizawa, and that's the one thing you don't want people knowing." As Aizawa and Deku being talking about like other stuff, like if the class was a bit more quiet, Aizawa could get more sleep. Deku was saying, and Aizawa was like, "Okay, I don't know if this kid's trying to like get me on his kind of side, but it's working. It's working." And Deku also says that sometimes people have to take responsibility for stuff that even if it involves you failing at something or you don't think you can. Deku says, "Aizawa, I'll make sure this class passes and they'll be the greatest heroes ever." And Deku whispers to Aizawa, just says, "Aizawa, I know you guys were shocked about me for 3 weeks, and that's why you told everyone in the UA Academy and the people who just got to classes for 3 weeks because you guys couldn't put your finger on how I was this strong." Aizawa like stops as he's about to leave, and Deku's at the changing room at the door, and Aizawa says, "How do you know that?" Deku just says, "I can tell by your face. And also, you're not much of a good actor." And Deku just tells Aizawa this. "Aizawa, we should have a training test. All the classmates against me." And Aizawa says, you know how much paperwork that will be?" And Deku's like, "I know, but if they encounter a really powerful opponent, what better person do you think would be a great demonstration?" Aizawa was like, "Okay, somehow this kid is really knowledgeable about stuff, and also it sounds like kind of a good idea, but I'll talk about it
teachers, Aizawa said to Deku. As Deku goes to the change room, and plus all the boys are just outside and all the girls are, except for Juno, because some guy got her stuck and her earphones were stuck in the wall. And when Mineta got poked in the eye, he wrapped her earphones in the wall. And the girls were already leaving the changing room, so yeah. As Deku gets there, he sees this thing in the wall. He says, might as well untangle this. He untangles it, and he goes back through the hole. And Juno, like, slips and hits the ground, and she sees the hole. She looks through it by accident, and she sees Deku changing. And she's, like, already having trying not to have a nosebleed, because that body's, like, fucking hot and fucking sexy at the same time. Her mind's, like, overloading right now. As Deku was finished changing, Juno decided to get changed as well. And Deku just, like, decided to, like, be right next to the girl's, like, change room and just wait for Juno. As Juno was getting out, Deku, Juno looks to her left and she sees Deku just sitting there on the wall, like, just, like, saying, like, hey, Juno. And Juno's like, how long have you been there? Deku's like, oh, I've been here since you just got changed and you were watching me. And Juno's like blushing, like really, really red. She's like, could you not tell anyone, please? And Deku's like, yeah, I don't mind if I tell anyone. I won't tell anyone, Juno. It's just that, why were you tangled up in there? Juno tries not to say it, but she says some idiot wrapped around my cord in the hole and I couldn't get it out, and the girls were already leaving, so yeah. And Deku says, well, good thing I came along. Well, let's go to the test. Let's go to the physical exam. And Juno says, right. As Juno and Deku are walking beside each other, straight towards the entrance. However, that's going to be wrapping up the video today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you all later. And part 3 is going to come out very soon, so yeah.